Welcome to the Hot Rod Hangout Podcast. I'm Matt, and today we got a special guest, one of our big supporters. He's been a listener for a while. What's going on, Mr. Gene Coombs?
Hey, how are y'all today?
Oh, just living
Happy
a dream.
Veterans Day.
Well, wish it would warm up a little bit, but other than that, we're above the ground. So,
I wish that too. Kind of hard to work outside in the cold.
Yeah, that concrete don't get warm. But
Sure doesn't.
So, what originally got you into this crazy car obsession?
Well, I was born and raised in South Georgia, and we had two local dirt tracks here. My dad was a mechanic in the Army, farm boy, and born and raised a farm boy, but didn't want to farm. So he went in the Army, became a mechanic, worked in the motor pool, came home, had married my mom, and they were here, and then race cars came on. So, moonshiners and stuff, but we didn't run any moonshine. But the local dirt tracks ran like, the 34 sedans, the coupes, stuff like that. First they were running 6 cylinders. Then they eventually went to 8 cylinders, V8s. And so as soon as I can remember, I've been around race cars. Now, was that a good thing? I think so. But I can remember my dad pulling in 34 Chevys and Fords and coupes and stuff and chopping them up. And those cars nowadays would bring so much money for just the way they sit for either has a rat rod or a street rod, so you wouldn't have to have fiberglass bodies. But then he always told me they were a dime a dozen. So that's an afterthought.
Well,
but,
at that time they were.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you could get parts everywhere and anywhere.
Yep. That's
mainly what they were built out of, was anything you could get out of the junkyard or bring out of somebody's backyard. But, I was around that. We went to the races every Saturday night and, with him. At that time, children and women were not allowed in the pits, only men. So after the races, children and women could go in the pits. But my mom and dad got a divorce when I was 10. So we went to live with her mom and dad, who had moved down here, my grandparents. So on my 11th birthday, which was 1968, Hot Wheels had come out with a dual drag race strip with a finish line and parachutes and all that stuff. So I got that for my birthday. That was perfect. It was 2 twin Camaros, one red and one blue. The black Matei tops, hood opened up, red line wheels. It was really good, really cool. And I've always liked cars, so I always read magazines or built models or just anything I get my hands on, even all through my life. I don't build models anymore, but I work on cars now. So, and when I was later in life, I joined the Army because I was starving in Georgia. I was putting in pools and hot tubs. And in the wintertime, you don't do a lot of work. So I joined the Army, and I became a helicopter mechanic on OH-58s and UH-1s. So I got to do some pretty cool stuff flying around there. But what made me want to go in the Army was I watched the movie Apocalypse Now. And when those helicopters were going in to that Vietnamese village, that I really liked that. So that's the reason I joined that. So my profession after getting out of the military after 8 years was I went into aerospace. I moved back home to Georgia. I was divorced, child support. So I saw an ad in the Jacksonville paper for people for hiring in California for a company named Northrop. So I applied. I got the job. I moved to California. This was in December and January. January of 91 is when I moved there and started. And I stayed there for
California was still decent to live in.
Yes and no. It started growing pretty bad. I mean, I had to have my mom send me grits because they didn't know what grits were in California.
Yeah, they didn't.
Well, they didn't, so I had to do that. And when you would say yes ma'am or no ma'am to some of them out there, they would get offended.
Oh yeah.
But I worked on the B2 for a lot of years. I met my deceased wife there, who's now deceased. And I went through, I was with that company for 20 plus years. I went all the way around the world. I worked on Global Hawk, which is an unmanned aircraft. I worked on the F-35 center section. I worked on some targets. I went to the sandbox a couple times. Been to Australia a bunch of times. Really liked Australia. And I just kept up my thing. So as I'm there in California, I like racing, car racing. Mm-hmm. So they got some circle tracks. So they have a thing called dwarf cars, which is a 5/8 scale car of a 34 coupe or Chevy or sedan or Ford, but it has a motorcycle engine in it.
Yep.
So, well, I like that. And it's like a Legends car, except it doesn't have a fiberglass body. So we go buy a used one, get started on that, do that. And then I said, all right, this car is just not built right. So we went and bought a new one in Arizona. Brought it back, put a motor in it, got started on it, started racing, 9/11 hit. Every time I turned around for racing season, I was either deployed, going somewhere to support the war effort, or staying at work forever, supporting the war effort, because we were doing flight tests on Global Hawk to support the war fighters overseas. So I sold all the cars, got rid of them, got sick in 2010, and I came out of the hospital after about 6 or 8 months. And I told my wife then, I said, I think I want to buy a car, a hot rod. So give me something to do. So I looked around. I found a 67 Camaro RSSS, originally 350, that this guy had. It had in his garage for 5 years. And he bought it when he was in Alaska, when he was in the Air Force. And he had bought it from some kid up there. And he had made it into a street strip car. When he was in the Air Force, he would, at the post in the Pacific Northwest, on Saturday night, he put nitrous to it, which was the biggest mistake in the world to me. He didn't cage it, but he didn't cut it. But he put the slicks in the back seat. He changed the plugs when he got there. He had to get the nitrous tank filled, and he had a 250 cheater shot in it. So when he launched off the line, he pulled the front wheels, but about halfway down the quarter mile, he had to let off, because if he didn't, he would break out a bracket, and he'd have to do something to the car,
Yep.
So he couldn't get it smogged in California. So it sat in his garage for 5 years. He went through a divorce. So I came across it one day in an ad in the recycler. So I go over there and look at it, and I drove it. And I drove it, and it was on slicks. I never had driven anything on slicks before. So we drove around the neighborhood. I liked it. I liked the 67 Camaro because that's the first Hot Wheels I had. And it was automatic, and he had made it a 383 stroker. So when I got ready to retire and moved to Iowa, I took that car and moved there, but the motor just didn't seem right. So I got with this buddy of mine over there, that a friend of mine I had met, and we tore into the motor and tore into the transmission. And that nitrous had really destroyed a lot of that engine, and the work wasn't done properly. So we rebuilt everything up, transmission, engine, all that stuff, put it back in the car, and I had hopes for it to do a full paint and body on it, but I never did. And the interior was fully original from the dealer. So I loved that car. And my wife at the time, she didn't like going. I took her for a ride in it one time, and I romped on it. She couldn't grab the dash. She never rode with me again. So, but she would go to car shows, but she would never go because she didn't like riding that. So I looked around for her car. I found her a 59 T-Bird. So okay. She was the third owner of that car. It was the old Tahitian bronze metallic. It was automatic on the column, factory air, all the options you could get at that year. It was an electric seat on the driver's side, had one mirror, air conditioning. The guy had kept it all original except he put a AM/FM cassette radio in the car so he could listen to his big band music when he went to car shows in it. So I drove 4 hours down to go get it at Lake of the Ozarks when we lived in Iowa. And so as I'm talking to his son, because unfortunately the gentleman had gotten the Alzheimer's and he couldn't drive the car anymore. He wouldn't allow him. So they said, well, where's your trailer at? I said, my trailer? I'm not trailering anything. He says, what do you mean? He says, I said, I'm driving that car home. He says, you're going to take this car 4 hours straight? It hadn't been driven more than 25 minutes or 25 miles in years. I said, I don't care. I'm driving that car home. I drove it all the way home, 4 hours straight. It didn't give me a lick of problem. So it was a nice car. Mm-hmm. I kept that. My wife passed away. So I moved back home back here to Hire, Georgia. I brought both cars with me. COVID hit. We were going to car shows, like my new wife and I. COVID hit, and I just got tired of the car sitting there not doing anything. So I sold the T-Bird to a guy in Florida. He said his brother had given him a 1960 T-Bird when he was in high school. So the 59 was what he wanted. So that's what he had. So he came and got it, trailered it back down there. He liked the car. I kept the 67 for a few more years. I was working on it. And it just had gotten to where it was time for somebody else to enjoy it. So I saw where Chrysler and Dodge were saying, hey, we're not going to build the Challenger anymore. Well, I like a two-door.
Yeah.
So I got over and I did some work on the Camaro, got it going the way I wanted it, cleaned it up, and I sold it. But in the meantime, I went down and found a 2009 Dodge Challenger in Ocala, and it was low miles, and it looked like it had been used or owned by a previous member of the military, probably the Army, because it come out of Virginia, and it looked like he had been traveling a lot and being deployed overseas, because the car had sat a lot, as you could tell looking at it. So it had very low miles on it. It had like less than 80,000 miles on it when I picked it up 2 or 3 years ago. So I've been tinkering on that, and I really didn't like the paint job on it. It was a metallic pearl black, but he had put all kind of graphics all over it. He put a Hellcat on the side of it, put his claw mark over one of the headlights. He put a red stripe down the middle of the car all the way from the nose to the tail. And I didn't know it at the time. When I went to inspect the car, it had hood pins coming through the hood. Well, I pulled the hood pins, not knowing anything, thinking they were there, real. Pulled the hood up, there's no pins. They were fake.
Oh.
They were glued to the freaking hood. And he had taken the lanyards with the hood pins and shoved them into the grill, and that's what was holding on. So I said, "Oh man, I can't. I like the car. I like the interior. I like the mileage. It's an SRT8. It has low mileage. I wish it was a turbo, but not or charged.
Yeah.
But so I get over there and I'm talking to a buddy of ours, Psycho from Psycho Fab.
Yep.
And I said, "Hey man, I need to get rid of these graphics. I can't stand the car this way." So he and I talked. So I drop it off with him when he finally got some time for me, and he took all the emblems off, and shaved all that. Took all the graphics off the car and painted it back gloss black and then cleared it.
Yeah.
And now I'm happy with the car. I'm really proud of driving it.
Paint will make or break a car, and especially if somebody stuck decals on it. Because I remember, I think it was Ashley's when we got together. Her car, somebody had put gay graphics all over it, and I peeled them, and now we ended up having to go mimic the graphics because they were on there for any amount of time, and down here the sun bakes them, so the paint fades at different rates. So you peel them, and then it's like, okay, now it's just a ghost graphic, but it's not a sticker.
Agreed. See, that's what had to happen with this one. Psycho had to keep it for so long because by the time he had taken them off and they tried to blend stuff to it, he had to do a lot of expensive work.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate everything he had done to it. So I don't know. I've always been into cars and stuff, but I know everybody has their own niche nowadays. People like donks or they like mini trucks or stuff that's lowered, or muscle cars, or whatever, classics, or a Corvette club, Porsche club.
Oh yeah.
I'm not into club stuff. I kind of like seeing everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to a show, I like to see a little bit of everything, whether it be a truck lifted or slammed or rat rods, exotics, muscle cars. I like it all, and that's the kind of car show I like going to. So I go around and see different stuff, and I don't like to look at the same thing every time. And go ahead.
And you get because especially down here, you'll get even the cars that are art or car shows that are diverse. You'll get where there's 4 or 5 of the same car. They're just different colors or different wheels, which wheels will make a car too. But
agreed.
And it's like the Mopar show we were talking about. There was one whole row of newer Chargers and Challengers, and it's really hard. And I was even talking to one of the guys. I'm like, it's really hard to kind of set yourself apart when there's not a whole lot that can be done to change them. It's paint color or wheels or,
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
and I guess that's why I lean more towards the 50s customs or, 40s, 30s, those cars, because you can do more stuff with them, whereas like a Mustang or a Camaro.
Oh, agreed.
You there's one way to build them where they look good.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, and with the car that you're building now, I mean, I love the fins on that car.
Yeah.
And a 59 Caddy is my favorite. The bigger the fin, I like the fins.
I like the 60 over the 59.
Well,
because they're the same car except for the booby lights. I don't like those lights because they've been used on everything.
Yeah, I understand that. That's whatever the custom got.
So it's that's kind of the go-to. Oh, you need taillights on your Model A, French and 59 Caddy lights. So that's I like the 59, but if I could pick any car, it would be a 60, just because it has the big fins, and also
I understand. Like like with the Challenger, it has some. The hood or the nose piece had an indentation for an emblem, and the tail end spoiler had an indentation for an emblem. I asked Psycho to fill those because I didn't want anything there. I'd seen some pictures of a pure black car where everything was shaved and filled, and I like that. So it's kind of a mild custom, I reckon you could call that, but it's still got the muscle car and the new technology to it. So, and I like cars like that. But when I grew up, we had, which you think of most nowadays grew up, we had slot car sets, we had model cars, we had everything. You might not have had the phone and video games and all that stuff, but we made fun with our slot cars and our model cars and our magazines. That's how we kept up with stuff. I mean, if you looked at the high school parking lot when I went to high school, you'd say today was a car show.
Yeah.
And because I drove a 67 GTO to high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, and my buddy had a Ford with a 390 in it, a pickup truck, or another buddy had a Chevelle 4-speed with 396.
Yeah, and that's those, like we were talking about before the episode. You look out and that's the cars that kind of become iconic because of what of growing up. Those were the cars that everybody wanted, and now it's the cars that everybody identifies with.
Agreed. That's like we had talked about that. You grew up with mini trucks.
Yep.
So either they were slammed or they were before they could run through the swamps.
Yep.
Because when I growing up and getting older in life, we cruised the strip. It was like American Graffiti, the movie.
Yep.
We cruised up and down the street, which was really good times. But then you get the 4-wheel drive guys coming in for their big lifted trucks and all that stuff. But the thing about it is, most of them wouldn't even take them on a dirt road. They wanted to keep them pristine and pretty.
Yeah.
But then you had the farmer who would wet down his field every Sunday, and they would have mud bogs, and they would take out trucks and bog them. Then he'd have to put the tractor to them and get them out. And I just never saw anything about that, but that was just their thing that they wanted to go do, see if they could get through this mud pit.
Yeah,
Which, they do that up here at South Georgia Motorsports Park once in a while. They have mud drag races.
That South Georgia Motorsports Park is, I will give them a lot of credit. They do a lot of diverse. I mean, we just watched a donk race. I don't know when it was, but it was there.
Yep.
And then they have obviously Radio versus the World. They have, they're not because you see a lot of these drag strips and some circle tracks, but a lot of drag strips are shutting down. And it's just because they refuse to kind of spread out what they're doing.
Agreed. They shut down Atlanta, and they're talking about the NHRA announced that SGMP would be one of the tracks for this 26th season. Well, welcome. Come on. We just see what they're going to run when they get here. But SGMP does have a lot of different diversity. They have twice a year. They have Man Cup, which is nothing but motorcycle drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have twice a year. They have Duck X, and then like you were mentioning about Lights Out, donk races, and then he has the truck meets.
Yep. They
have the truckers and all that stuff. It has that. Then he has car shows, and once in a while he'll have autocross. And a lot of people don't know it, but behind that drag strip on the other side of the stands is another set of stands that's looking at a concrete oval track that at one time had dirt on it. So they pulled the dirt off, and they're trying to get him to open that track back up, but he hasn't opened the circle track back yet.
Oh, and that's the one thing that, because I've known a couple of these tracks, and I mean, we lost. Lakeland was the track that we used to run. We still have Orlando, Bradenton, and Gainesville.
Yeah.
But to go to Gainesville on a normal night, that's not a real good track. It's only really good right around the time that the Gators come. The Gator Nationals. Really? Because any other time it's the normal. Whereas Wade and them guys up, Omar and Wade up at SGMP or Orlando, same people. They want their track to be what it is. It's consistent, and you can go have a good time. You can be diverse. It's not, because a lot of times you get so much, and if you pigeonhole yourself, you're losing the broad spectrum. People, I don't want bracket races. Well, when the no time guys are across the country, you need something that's going to pay your bills that weekend.
Agreed.
And
see that's what he does. SGMP, he does do that.
Yep.
He keeps a lot of different things coming in all the time. I don't think they're off more than maybe 2 weekends out of the year.
No, and probably the only time that they're off would be if there's something going on in Orlando or.
Yep.
Because the same with car show people, it kills me, because it'll be like, are you going to the show? And it's like, well, there's a show an hour that away. Y'all didn't get together? Like, why would you put yourself, obviously if there's a show in Texas and my show's the same weekend, we're not really hunting over the same field.
That's right.
But if there's a show in Ocala, let me not do my show in Bellevue the same weekend.
Agreed.
Because all it does is split your pie. Yep. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But you see it constantly, and some of it's like it's got to be out of spite. Like, I think I can do better than you. Well, how about you do it next weekend, or get together? Don't purposely do it.
Yeah. I understand where you come, but see, a lot of the small towns here, they have their festivals, and they're a set weekend every year. So if they have a car show, that's usually their set weekend.
Yeah,
and it's been that way for a year or more too.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
Yeah, but a few towns down may have something at the same time. Yeah. You know, it's like White Springs, Florida had the Sugarcane Festival this year, last weekend, and then there was a chili cook-off over in Bradenton.
Yeah.
So, you know, not everybody can make every show.
Well, and it's also what type of vehicles are you trying to appease? You know, a cruise-in, a show like Slamfest or Eastbound Get Down or Turkey Rod Run or Moultrie or the bigger, Dino's Get Down, those type shows.
Yeah.
Those are traveling shows. Those are shows that people are they're coming out of state.
Yes.
So if a cruise-in is happening the same day, well, I don't care. People are going to come to the show. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that there needs to be 4 cruise-ins at the exact same time within 30 miles of each other.
Agreed. That's sort of thing. Like and I know you see it more than I see it. Because you look at car show flyers, they'll say, well, it's a classic car show. Well, I would, being me, I comment and say, well, does this classic mean classics only, or is anybody invited? Sometimes I get back, it's only classics. Or, anybody can show up. Well, as an 09, I mean, 2.5 more years, my car's a classic.
Yeah.
20 years. So I'm just, like I said before, I like it where everybody's invited and everybody gets along and they just do their own thing and enjoy the community.
Well, and that's what it was always meant to be. I've said it numerous times and maybe we'll get there eventually, but I'd love for it to be a free show and I throw some hot dogs on the grill and everybody just hangs out. Because that's more what it is for us is I just want to see y'all. I just want to hang out. What have you been working on since last year?
Yeah.
Fortunately, I see what, I see y'all more than once a year. But, if somebody's in Vegas or Missouri or, any other state, I might only get to see y'all one time.
Agreed.
So what have you been up to for the last year? Did you finally get that car, finished, or did you trade it away, or what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Because, and I hate this, but social media, it's funny. Like we're the most connected that we could possibly be, but yet, but yet also no one communicates.
Agreed. Everybody's sometimes a keyboard warrior too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but you have a cell phone in your pocket that can literally, the world at your fingertips.
Agreed.
But yet, and I still find myself, I'll talk to somebody and be like, "Man, I'm so sorry, I haven't hollered at you."
Yeah.
Or it's been a couple weeks or whatever, and it's like, it shouldn't be that way. We're so connected. We're so, so easy now to get a hold of somebody. You don't even have to catch them at home anymore.
Agreed. But I think it's because our social circle has gotten so large compared to what it used to be.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not a big, I'm on Facebook, but I'm not an expert at Facebook. So I see things that I like on there. Different groups. So I follow this and that, and I follow some pinstripers and stuff. Because I like that kind of stuff. I like hand lettering and stuff. That's something I always wish that I could have done. So I follow that stuff because I like it, and I follow some other different things too. But everybody's connected, so connected that sometimes we're over connected, I believe.
Yes, and also because like my personal page is Facebook and Instagram. My personal page, I don't ever really post on there.
I don't post on mine either.
You know, but the podcast page, obviously, I try to keep up with, but I could do better at that too. But it's like, because even Ashley's, I do all the social media because Ashley's like, I forget. I go on there and I see something and I might like it, but to go follow up, it just doesn't ever happen. And it's because it's paralysis by over-analysis. There's so much stuff going on. You know, like we were talking, like you're with car shows. You know, it's so easy to get upset that you can't make a show because there's literally something every weekend. You could be so busy. And again, there's multiple. There'll be a Saturday show and a Sunday show that are both within 30 minutes of you. But that's what we did, and that's how we got burnt out last year, was because we were trying to push it. And by the time you get to the show that matters for us, being Turkey, which we're going to miss for the first time this year, and whatever.
Yeah.
But you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to talk about cars. I don't want to see a car. And then it's like, well, why are we doing this? We're trying to make this. We're trying to do this to be able to go have fun. Why are we turning this into something that's not fun?
Yeah.
But we talked about it before the podcast, but you said you had one loaded for this question. Unlimited budget. What car are you building?
I got two, dude.
All right.
It's a 55 to a 57 Pontiac Safari station wagon.
Okay.
That's the tow vehicle.
Okay.
Open trailer and a slingshot on the back.
All right.
And I'm talking about a slingshot like 60s, 70s. Front end dragster.
Yep.
My favorite.
I
know why they went to the rear engine, but it just ain't the same to me.
That's pretty close to the setup that Randy Jackson with the Gasser Garage brought out last year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool combo. Cool. It was awesome that the car is his girlfriend's and the dragster's his. So that was cool. They got to make a road trip.
That's good.
She come out of Oklahoma, he come out of Missouri. So
yeah, I remember you talking about that on the podcast. But like we're talking about big shows, we have never made a big show. We don't go to Turkey Rod Run. We don't do any of that stuff. We might go over to Moultrie to the swap meet once in a while. But the biggest show we've ever going to make is y'all's upcoming show in Ocala in 26.
Oh, that's a little show.
Well, that's a big.
I hope it's big. I hope it's big, but that's
we're staying the night down there.
Yeah,
we're going to go eat some restaurants, see some of the local area.
And that's what we try to do with that show. Is I want you to come and enjoy. You can justify it because there's a lot of cool stuff around. You can go check out. Obviously, if the weather was warm, you could go check out Springs, or there's local little eateries and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, there's one place I want to go down there. I saw it's called Wolfie's. I want to try that place.
It's good food.
They said they have great chicken fried steak, and I like that.
All right.
But that trip in January is our Christmas present to each other.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate the support.
You're more than welcome.
Speaking of shows, is there a show or event other than the Hangout that you've never made that you'd like to make?
Well, I think probably Turkey Rod Run would probably be one of the ones I'd like to make. And then I saw one today that's happening this coming weekend in Perry, Georgia, at the fairgrounds that the Pharaohs is putting on. I've never been to that one. I think about maybe trying that one year. That
was the one you sent me, right? The auto fair?
That's the one I sent you. Yep. Yeah. I sent it to Psycho too.
Yeah. Turkey Rod Run, which we've never been for the spring one.
Yeah.
But Turkey Rod Run in November is an awesome experience. But if you're gonna walk the swap meet, it's a walk.
Oh, really?
Me and Ashley, the first time me and Ashley went together, we were short on time. So we just went over there and tried to do all of it in one day. We walked 16 and a half miles.
Wow.
So, which that was car corral, they say there's a show, but it's really just pay for VIP parking kind of.
Yeah.
And then the swap meet. But
Oh.
what we like about Turkey is the stuff that happens outside of the show. So you have the Bad Apple Rat Rod Bash.
Yeah, I've heard y'all talk about that.
That was me and Psycho actually met there. Didn't know that till we were on the podcast. We didn't know that we had met each other.
Yep.
And then you have last year they had a Pro Street. The Blower Mafia guys had put on something at Destination Daytona. And then they have Turkey Nights, which is basically old school cruising in the parking lot of Daytona International Speedway.
Wow, that's cool.
So, and that's where the Daytona Street Rods, which is who puts on Turkey Rod Run, they always give away a car of some sorts. Last year was a 32 Ford.
Wow.
So it's always just cool, and the cops kind of turn a blind eye as long as you're being stupid safely.
Yes.
You know, they're not there to write you 5011 tickets as long as as long as you're not being an absolute menace.
Yeah. I think I'd like to make the Emerald Coast run too once. And I think I'd really like to do the Route 66 from start to finish. I've done part of it when I was traveling back and forth between California and Iowa, but never in a hot rod.
I don't know if I'd want to do it in a hot rod.
Well,
Route 66 is a little beat up for.
Well, yeah, but you're kind of you got to pick and choose where you stop at. I would do it in your caddy. It's probably pretty tough for you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it in a rat rod.
No.
But I'd probably do it in my Challenger. Challenger's pretty good. Pretty
something that's not the roughing it smoothly. You know,
Yeah.
Which I don't know. So I'm getting soft, I guess, because I'm like, the caddy, it's going to ride good and be comfortable. Won't have AC, but other than that, like, this will be the most comfortable thing I'm trying to build.
Maybe one day you'll have AC.
Probably not on this one.
Okay.
The box that goes on the outside of the firewall, he broke and threw it away, so I couldn't fix it. And to try to find one is nearly impossible. Well,
you know what you need to find now then, don't you?
What's that?
Remember the old air cools on the back in the day? Well, you probably don't. But there was this thing
the swamp coolers, or the barrels.
Yep, and you filled it with ice and it vented it into the car. You have to look for one of those. They're hard to find. Yeah,
it shouldn't be that bad, and if it does, then we'll address it. But originally I was gonna do which I still could. I could do there's a company down here, and I've talked to them about it. I just have to give them measurements. But it's paying up, and I know I'm not going to have the budget for it right now anyway, to do a complete under dash that would hook to the vents that are in the dash.
Okay.
And then just run an electric compressor, because with the engine driven, that's where the AC compressor would have been. Because I know
in the day they weren't using them coolers on the side.
Yeah.
Some people had these little bitty fans that clipped on to the car and you plugged in the cigarette lighter.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, it is, but it's not. Ashley's car, we've driven it in the summer with just the front two windows down, and it's as long as you're moving, you're fine.
Yeah, as long as you're moving, you're okay. But if you get stuck in traffic, you're sweltering.
Yeah, we try not to get stuck in traffic.
No, I don't blame you on that.
For whether it's nice and cool or whether it's hot, Traffic, man. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's getting like ridiculous.
Traffic. Yeah, I can only, when it comes to spring break on, down 75, it gets pretty bad.
Yeah, I stuck my foot in my mouth. Shout out to Mario Kalea. He had posted that he wanted to go cruise, but the white stuff fell, so he was probably packing the cars up for the winter. And I was like, oh, it's 71 degrees here. I shot myself in the foot.
Yeah.
So I sent him a message this morning, and I was like, hey, I spoke too soon. It's 30.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're supposed to get back in the single digits by the end of the week. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, wow.
He's like, it was -4 in Ontario this morning.
No, thank you.
That's what I said. I was like, no, you can keep that.
That's right. Have you looked? I mean, I reckon if you're born and raised in that kind of weather, you can you're used to it. But I was not, and for some reason or another, the United States Army decided to send me everywhere where it was snow and cold in the wintertime.
So my dad was actually born in Canada.
Really?
Yeah. So he was born in Saskatchewan, just north of Minot, North Dakota.
I know where Minot's at.
Yep. So he was born in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and he was there till I think like 76.
Wow.
Then
76. That's the year I graduated high school.
That would probably be pretty close to when he graduated.
So he and I are probably about the same age then.
Well,
I saw that picture of their car. That was a really nice car.
Oh, their Fairlane? Yeah, that's a beautiful car.
When you posted the pictures for black cars on Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the car and it looked like it was your mom who posted it. It was a nice car. I like it.
Yeah, that's what they replaced they replaced the 34 with that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. AC, handshaker 3-speed. It's a very, very well preserved car. It's got like no miles on it.
It looks very well kept.
Yes. I want to say it's less than like 20,000 miles on that car.
Wow.
It was the gentleman bought it, drove it for a little while, passed away, kind of just got shoved in a garage, and the kids would come fire it up, but the mom really had no interest in driving it. So it just sat, and then it went.
Did they ever say why the dad bought it?
I think it was just he bought a new car, but he passed away pretty shortly after, I'm assuming, just because of the mileage. Okay. Yeah. And then it bounced around to either one or two other people, and then it ended up down here in Florida, and the guy went through and nut and bolted it and made it back. I mean, it's a very well put together car. Yeah.
I hope it's at the show. I'd like to look at it.
Yeah, it'll be there. Oh, okay, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yeah, I understand how it goes. That's about the same thing for us too. God's willing, the creek don't rise.
Yeah. So that was when they picked that up. I was like, that was more what I thought that they would end up with in the beginning. Something with some AC that they can chill, smooth ride. They're not jammed up in it. That 34 pickup truck was even a little, it was a little small even for me.
Yeah, I'm sure we didn't have any leg room. But that shows you how.
Oh yeah, they were way shorter and way skinnier in 30s.
Yes, agree. How people have changed from then to now.
Yeah. So they got bench seat, so they can go cruise. It's their little ice cream cruiser. I mean, I don't ever expect them to, they weren't jumping at the chance to do the road trip to California with us, which I completely understand.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But for what they use it for, going and grabbing lunch and just going out and cruising, it works out good for them. So
yeah, it's good. I mean, I really wanted to make that California trip. Just one last time.
We will eventually, but it's just got to make sense.
and I hope you do, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah,
But I think
like me and you talk though. I want it to be something where we're not rushed. And
agreed.
Doing that trip, you know, if something would have happened on the way out, now you're like trying to make it to the show, so you're beating your head against the wall, and then even if something happened on the way home, now you're trying to get home for work.
Agreed.
So it wasn't the right timing.
Yeah, I know. I understand. And it depends on what time of year you go.
Yeah.
But you might want to go across, you know, around parts of Route 66 and then come back I-10. It just depends. Or vice versa.
I can't remember exactly, but we went up which we had to stop in the middle, northeast Texas. So it was kind of having us go up there, and then I wanted to swing by the Cadillac Ranch, and then going down through Arizona, and
it's best to do that on a non-snowy cold day.
Yeah. Which that trip, if we do it for that show, that would be a good time of year to do that.
Agreed.
But there's also, you know, you got shows on this coast. You know, you got the KKOA, Lead Sled Spectacular. You got, you know, there's shows over here that are way closer and, you know, still cool that we'd like to check out.
I know. We need to start doing the same thing too, because the car shows that we see around here, most of the same cars every time.
Yeah.
Most of the same winners every time. Not that I don't go to a car show for a trophy or a plaque or none of that stuff. Now, to me, they're just dust collectors.
Yeah.
But if they're a homemade trophy, if somebody took the time to make it, you know, homemade it, put some time and effort in it, thought into it, pinstriped it, lettered it, whatever, those mean something to me. Those are the ones that I like to keep.
Yeah, and that's what we try to, you know, Psycho's painting us skateboards this year.
Yeah.
You know, I want the advertisers and the car clubs to build a trophy and give out their pick. One, it also gets you, it forces communication.
Agreed.
You know,
I had go ahead.
Because it's for us anyway. You know, I don't. People this and this and this, and it's like, no, it's really about the story. Like, why did you pick that car? How did you end up with that car? You know, what's special about that car? You know, did you have all 10 fingers and all 10 toes crossed to get here this morning? You know, was it not running yesterday? And you were like, nope, I got to make this show. So you busted your butt to get it here. Cool. Like, I want to know kind of what makes you tick, the stories behind it. I mean, that's, I guess, why the podcast exists, is because I just wanted to hear people's stories, because everybody there's a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences on how people ended up, you know, with which, I mean, you know, the original hot rod, you know, which it's kind of funny today marks, you know, we're celebrating Veterans Day. And, you know, the hot rod culture came from that. You know, they came back and they were, you know, the military guys that, you know, if it didn't need to be on the car, it got yanked off. You know, they didn't have a lot of money, so flat paint was what they could afford, or maybe primer or nothing. And you drug it out and you got together with your buddies and you built something that you thought was cool.
Yep, and you souped it up and made it go run fast.
Yep.
Or tried to be faster than the next guy.
Yep.
But a lot of people don't know is that aviation reciprocating engines and stuff, a lot of that technology from there went into the automotive industry.
Oh, yes.
Like lifters and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That people don't realize that.
Well, and there's a lot of a lot of the cores of craftsmanship that came from aviation. You know, the original Bonneville speed racers were belly tanks.
Yep, agreed. Yep, yes.
You know, so there's a lot of history that crosses over between the hot rods, aviation. I mean, the original pinup girl is, dang, I just forgot the name of it, but the girl riding the bomb.
Yeah, well, there was all kind. There were all kind of different names. Yeah. I mean, you know, the Enola Gay dropped the atomic bomb, but different mechanics, crew chiefs were artists that painted the nose art on those airplanes. I mean, even during Vietnam, crew chiefs and stuff were doing nose art on the helicopters. You know, like tiger shark mouths or cross saber stuff. So, but they shy away from that now. They don't want you to do that because of the paint they use.
Oh,
radar absorbing and stuff. But
gotcha. I never see. As a civilian, I never even would have put that together.
Yep. The paint, the outside coatings they use now, they don't want you to put anything like that on there.
Yeah. Well, technology and also the military has changed a lot from
agreed.
From when you were in to when some of my friends that I'm fortunate enough to call friends in the new age of military.
Yeah. You can always refer to them as associates. That's what I do with some of mine. And, but yeah, even now with, the new administration the military is changing back to what the military was, but we won't go there. But anyway, so you're talking about Psycho's doing skateboards for the trophies, plaques for the show.
Yep.
I got to him late. I said, "Hey man, I got 3 hubcaps for a '59 T-Bird over here at the house. I bought and I found because I forgot to give them to the guy who bought the T-Bird. So I said, if you want a T-Bird hubcap to paint up, here, I'll give you one. No, I already got these started. I said, okay, whatever. So I'll keep them in the background for something else. Somebody will need one of them one day.
Didn't he want to put T-Bird hubcaps on something?
But she only got 3. I don't have 4. He might have.
Everything he's got has skirts on it.
Yeah, I know.
So you only need 2.
What? Huh? You need 4. 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah, but if it's got skirts on it, nobody can tell what the center cap looks like.
These are full hubcaps, bub. They cover up the whole wheel.
Right, but if you just run a regular hubcap in the back, as long as it's sort of close.
Yeah, sort of close. You're right. Yeah. As long as the tail end is low.
Yeah. Well, everything that comes out of that yard is pretty much on the ground.
Well, yeah, you're right about that.
That's what originally one of my ideas for the Cadillac was to make the hub, because it's got hubcaps too, to make the hubcaps not spin. Make the float.
Make what?
Make them float. Basically make it look like the wheel's not turning.
Yes.
And I can do it on the front, but the rear obviously would be a pain.
Yeah.
But the skirts cover most of the wheel. So
yeah. I don't know. I had a different idea for that. In fact, I got 2 ideas for that car if it was mine. And if you don't mind, I'll tell you about it.
Go for it.
I would leave the basic steel wheel there, but I would paint it a solid color like a black. And I would use a nice center cap with lug nuts and a chrome beauty ring around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to find which Colorado Customs makes them, but I just don't want to pay what they want for them. I'd like to put a bigger wheel on it and have it cut like the factory hubcap.
Oh, that's cool. If your pocketbook's deep enough for that one.
It's not deep enough for them to cut my wheels.
Okay.
Unless they hear this and they want to sponsor a set of wheels for a slightly successful podcast.
There you go. The other idea I had, it's not an original idea. I saw it on somebody else's car, and this guy was either a DJ or he's got a podcast or something. But the old style microphones, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's like a silver chrome wrapped old style microphone, and he has it as a gear shift handle.
Yeah, that was the Model A gear shifter was going to be one of those.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. I know yours is probably column shift, so you probably couldn't do that. But his is a floor shift, and it's in a station wagon or
that's cool.
Something like that.
It's not yellow, is it?
No, it's red and flamed.
Ronnie Ogas.
It might be. He's out of California, I think.
Yep.
And
that's my buddy.
That's what his shifter holder knob is at. And I said, man, it is cool.
He actually gave, whenever I was doing the Model A, he was going to send me one of those shifters because I couldn't find one because I wanted one that worked.
Yeah.
And you can find them. They're expensive. And he's like, he has a couple of them. And I was like, I want one, but I want it to work.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I want to be able to PA from it.
I
want to be able to talk while cruising.
You want to do it like you did, like they did in the old days when they had the CB radios.
Yep.
And the speaker was up under the hood.
Yep.
So you could talk outside, or like a cop car.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Just
you could do podcasts while you're driving.
That was the plan.
That's cool. I like. That's a good idea.
But yeah, that guy is. I love him. I met him. Actually, one of the guys that was on the podcast real early, Scott. He lives down here now, but he's also from California. When I made that road trip, he gave me a list of people. Like, hey man, make sure you run into these guys and tell them I sent you. So I met a bunch of cool people out there. 803 Customs and stuff like that. And he was one of them. And he's like, well, I'm not going to give it to you now. He's like, but come see me at the end of the day. And he gave me a S-load of stickers and posters and build my car and stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's cool.
That's great. You know, there is so much car culture out that way. Yes. But unfortunately, their gas is so damn high. And they got small check for this and that. And it's just too much. The rules and regulations out there against automobiles and trying to go full EV is really hurting it.
Yeah. But, and that's, if it wasn't for everything, like the car culture out there, I wish that we could mimic it anywhere really. But
if we did that, then everybody would be the same.
Yeah. Just the passion, I guess.
The passion.
More so than the cars themselves.
Yep.
Because, like, I think I've said it on a podcast before, but I'll say it again. We had taken, we took the Woody and the 55 one night up to get gas. And the 55 Crown Vic's a custom, lace roof, air ride. And I pull up and like lay it on its ass, and I'm walking across the parking lot, and I'm fully expecting somebody to say, "Hey, nice car."
Yep.
And no one said anything, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, and I'm walking
because
back.
They see him every day.
And that's exactly it. And then at the lowrider family's house that we went to, the lady's like, "Oh, there's a car show," and we're like, "Yeah." And the guy seen that I was like looking kind of puzzled on how she didn't know, because they're right around where all these cars are at. And he's like, well, let me explain. He's like, this is a normal Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean this is a normal? He's like, we don't, like, those cars are our dailies. We don't have like, oh, it's too hot, or, oh, it's raining, or he's like, it doesn't do that here. He's like, it's 70. And I'm like, it can't be 70 all the time. And he's like, it is.
Yep.
And then even talking to buddy Lucky Tramp, Chad Stroop, he went out there to chop a car, and it's like 70, 72, 73, wherever he was at. And all these guys are complaining about the heat wave. And he's like, I'm in a hoodie chopping a car and I'm comfortable.
Yep.
And they're all telling us, like, oh, it's so hot. And he's like, man, it's 95 at the house. Like, it's just a different.
With no humidity.
The vibe is awesome. The car people are awesome. The community around it was.
Yes, mostly it is. But when you get in the desert, it's just hot in the desert during the summer.
And you're going to get, and it doesn't matter where you're at, you're going to get not everyone's going to be great.
Agreed.
But it just seems like the passion that they have for their cars is what I'm like, this is amazing. Because these guys, which, I mean, it happened at Turkey one year. 2 years ago, we went to Turkey and it started raining, and you see all the 64 Impala convertible guys, they start, packing up, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're heading for their trailers. Nah, they're hopping in the rain with the tops down, listening to the music, like they're having a good old time leaving. And I'm like, oh man, like those cars are getting absolutely destroyed. We seen them later in the night, still having a good time. Seen them the next day, and you'd have never known they got rained on.
Wow.
They had went home or went back to the Airbnb and puffed on them, made them back shiny again. And I mean, like engraved drive shafts, like engraved suspension, everything. And it's like, and it's the passion.
And it's generational.
Yes. Well, I mean, while we were doing the cruising, there was a girl, 8 to maybe 12, that was like, oh, is that a Woody? Like, yeah, that's a young person to know what that car is.
Yeah, most kids nowadays don't know that kind of stuff. They might know what a tuner or a newer muscle car looks like because of a video game or something, or a movie. But, like Fast and Furious or something. No, there's anything wrong with that. That's what they grew up with. But you sometimes you wish you could share your knowledge with them, and sometimes you wish that they would absorb the knowledge. But I think back when I was that age, I didn't want to listen to that. I should have, but I didn't.
Well,
I listened to some of it.
We all learn.
Yep.
It's sometimes you can learn from other people's mistakes. Sometimes you got to make your own mistakes to learn from them.
That's right. That's life itself. That's how God teaches you.
Well, before we get out of here, what's one piece of advice that you would give someone trying to get into the car world?
Oh man, that's so much. Just accept it all and enjoy it all, and be a part of the community. The car community, another community. You ain't got to like it all, but accept it all, and put God first, and He'll show the way, and that's what I can say, man. It's just, you'll learn as you tinker on stuff, but that's what you got to do. I mean, don't turn your nose up or be too high on the hog to look down on your nose at anybody else because they're trying to do something different. Always, hey, nice car. If they talk. If they don't. You go on. But you make friends that way.
Yep.
That's all I got. I appreciate you having me on, buddy.
Hey, no worries, man. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Can't wait to see you in January.
Yes, sir. Well, till next time, guys, get out and drive your shit. Later.
Well, before we end this episode, I just wanted to hop on and say how much we want to thank y'all for listening and give a shout out to our sponsors. A huge thank you to Why Not Fab. Be sure to check out what they're up to on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Also wanted to mention Psycho Fab. We are so excited to see what paint job you have in store for the Caddy. You can check out what he's working on Facebook and Instagram. And go check out Throttle Addict for men and women's apparel. Be sure to use the code word HOTROD for 15% off your order. Another thank you to Johnny Jalopy for the logo for The Hangout 2026. Check out his latest sketches on Facebook, johnnyjalopy.com, or find him on YouTube at Johnny Jalopy Art. We also wanted to give a shout out for Mike from Mike Ryu Photography for coming on board with The Hangout 2026. Go take a look at his photography on Facebook and Instagram. And we cannot forget to mention Renting for the Future, bringing the kids back into shop and bringing generations back together. Check out what they're building on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Till next time, get out and drive your shit. See ya.